If you're not going to make the change, it's not going to happen.
I walk into my office, I can't act like a boy. I need to act like a boss.
Society just doesn't see children as something to be respected.
Society needs strong men. Hi everyone, welcome back to the Manarchy podcast with me, Chris. I am joined as usual today with Samit and Wilson. Thank you again, guys, for joining me.
Awesome to be here, man.
And today we have a special guest, Anna. She is a mentor to men, helping men get back to their truest selves. Thank you again for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And today we're going to be talking about the boy inside the man. What does it mean? How do we sum it up? Let me open the floor. What does it mean to you, the boy inside the man?
I think this is more of a biological and psychological development of a person. Specifically a man growing up, there are vestiges, there's little elements of that man that still is undeveloped. So if you look at it as a spectrum and you've got a variety of things at how men express themselves, it could be the spectrum of emotions, then you've got career and ambition and blah, blah, blah. And when you make that entire thing into the concoction that is one man, there are aspects of it where we are, I wouldn't say underdeveloped or undeveloped, we're more like waiting to be developed. Mm-hmm. And that's where that definition would be that of a boy still living within a man, yearning to either develop, grow, be pulled out of it, or just find his way, right? And that could just be your psychological factors, which would be you not having developed in how to express yourself, or how to deal with interpersonal relationships. In a variety of ways, you might be overdeveloped in certain aspects of it. And that balance makes you a man in the eyes of a society besides the physical existence of it, right? So the boy within the man, in short, is your expression of all those behaviors, all those psychological makeups, the biological elements that still exist within you that are yearning to grow and develop further. So there's still aspects that are lower.
That's your outside expression.
Correct.
But for me, from the inside, I love to be a boy. But then my worry is this, and I'm placing it right on. I walk into my office, I can't act like a boy. I need to act like a boss. Because if I act like a boy, he'll say, look at his age. He's not acting his age.
Who's going to take this guy seriously?
Yeah, you're not serious.
But you're speaking from an acting perspective, right?
No.
It's the facade that you're putting up, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
You heard the song, Kenny Rogers, Covered Up the County.
Might be a bit before.
And then at the end is, at times you have to fight to be a man. It never says to be a boy. So we have perceived, like once you grow, you got gray hair, you can never be a boy again. You can't. What is this childishness? What is this kiddishness? All right. So then you kind of say, bloody hell, this is what I am. I love to be a boy. I love to hang around with, say, 30, 40 years old, whatever it is. But when they look at you and you act in their way, they'll say, something is wrong with this guy. So then you put a facade again and then try and be a man and be. Okay.
Anna, what does it mean to you? What does the boy inside the man mean to you?
The boy inside of me. Many answers I could give. I'd like to continue on yours.
Please.
It doesn't necessarily mean in the situation where you have to be the boss that you have to be a boy. I mean, even in other situations, we're not always the same in every single situation. Sometimes when you have to stand your ground, you have to be the boss. Because rightly so, the boy they would not accept because society just doesn't see children as something to be respected, unfortunately.
Exactly.
And so you can do it in that situation. However, there was lots of other opportunities where you can be the boy.
But then that's exactly what I'm saying. With my, say, group, office, colleagues, whatever it is, I try to be a man all the time, whatever it is. But then when you go for parties, I'm very cautious. Should I let loose myself?
With the same circle?
Yes.
Okay.
Should I hold myself? That's exactly what I'm saying. So I can't be a boy even if I want to be and show all my
Lack of compartmentalization.
Exactly. You get the whole gist of it. I know how it is, where to hold, where not to. But when you're not to, you're still a man. You can't have a boy inside you. Because when you want to let loose, you are then looking at all the possible surroundings. Because come the next day, they won't take you seriously irrespective.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I think a few points on that is that if you are not changing it, the world will not change. So if some of us are not actually making the change, change will not happen.
Correct.
Yeah, no,
You know,
changes could be detrimental
The
as well.
courage thing again, the confidence to be the one that doesn't care. Because when you come back to office, you're still the boss and you still command that respect
True.
in a different way, not out of fear or whatever. You know, there's lots of ways to command respect. So that is something that we could do. Another one that I thought about is change your circle,
Good point.
because environment is everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's there. I mean, I have a separate circle of all our boys anyway, so it's okay.
There you go. That right there is an indication
Yeah,
that
so
being in a different circle
different
allows
circle
you, the boy,
allows
to
me
express
yeah,
himself.
yeah, yeah.
So, Meet, let me ask you: can you ever recall a moment in your life where you had to grow up quickly?
Oh, there's a variety of scenarios like that. I was almost every scenario where I've been faced with any challenges, I was required to man up, right? Which requires you to just forget about, and we talked in our previous episode about vulnerabilities and all that, and just put everything to the wayside and be like, hold it together.
Is it possible to hold on to your inner child whilst doing so?
Super challenging. But, and herein lies your point. If you're not going to make the change, it's not going to happen, right? So I took, over the past 2 years, significant steps to get in touch with my inner child. My inner child was dying. I'll be very honest with you. A little sad little child sitting in the corner weeping. A shadow on them, like think of that image.
Yes.
And there's a light on everything else in the room, and that little one is neglected, right? So I'm going to say really stupid examples. I feel like maybe that's my perception of them being stupid because I'm
Say it,
insecure
say it.
about it.
Please,
But
go ahead.
everything from me just playing with Lego, right? Just sitting and watching cartoons again, and doing things as a child I really loved, and reconnecting with them made me feel again like a boy. And I'm picking up on all of them. I swear I'm starting to get, you remember trump cards?
Yes.
Like those trading cards, right? You'd have like wrestlers on them, you'd have boats on them, and all sorts of stuff, and they used to play with them. I've started collecting them,
Okay.
and doing all those things, which reminds me that the child inside me was so fun-loving, so relaxed, so cool, so chill, absolutely not a care in the world. And
Beautiful.
doing that has slowly started helping me as a man to become far more accepting of the realities of the world, and just understanding just like, well, life can still be fun.
Yeah.
Everything is going to be
Yeah.
going to crap at any point in time.
Yeah.
It's not in my control, but life is still fun.
You know, what you just said will help millions of men
Yes.
right now who are sitting
Yes.
there, and the boy has died inside
Yes.
them.
Yeah.
So this will definitely help them
Yes.
to come back to life again.
Well, there is that
Definitely,
old
because
saying,
this is-
you don't stop playing when you grow old. You grow old when you stop.
When you stop playing, oh, man, that's
Absolutely.
right.
And it's
Yeah.
so very
And
true,
so-
especially for men, because there
Yeah.
is no, it's kind of like phased out of our lives. There is no like line in the sand where we just kind of stop playing with our action figures and, these things. It's kind of slowly phased out of our lives. And not to say that you should be a grown man playing with toys, but just the point of like having that childlike element. Like I can remember having a conversation, and I hope he's watching this episode, with a colleague of mine, and it was asked, what would the first thing that you would do be if you had to trade places with a woman, right? So you have a woman's body for the day, and most men would probably
cool question.
say something sexual. I'd probably play with money. I don't know, whatever, right? But his answer was, I'd go and hug the nearest person, right? Because at some point
what an
in our
indication.
lives, people just stop hugging us.
They don't get hugged.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
and so
And children
it was
get
such a
hugs all the
profound
time.
Answer for me. I still think about that to this day. It was such a profound answer.
Absolutely.
It is.
And it's
it
just
is.
an indication of
Agreed.
exactly how things are phased out of boys' lives without us really even realizing it.
And that's also called a midlife crisis. You have a midlife crisis. Can you give me a hug? You have a midlife
Yeah,
crisis.
correct.
You know how it is, the whole thing, and then you say, get lost.
But you were saying something, right? I mean,
Yes, I've got another many points, but
Go for it.
it is actually, you said this would help millions of men, and I agree with you. And it is one thing that I always do with the men that I work with, is always that play part.
Yeah.
Like, what is it that you remember from childhood that really got you, made you happy, or just made you feel like life is good and
Yeah.
everything is really easygoing?
Where do
and-
your passions come from?
And yes, and exactly, because going on that one, I mean, something that you were passionate about, but then mom and dad said you have to study this, which
Yeah,
is
yeah,
totally
yeah,
not
yeah.
your thing. You really wanted to do something completely different,
My
So,
dad
yes.
wanted me to be a chartered accountant, and I'd still keep on laughing.
Yeah.
Does anybody in this room do what their parents wanted them to do or be?
No.
No.
I tried and I failed miserably.
No.
I did all the education that they wanted me to do, and I'm completely out of
My goodness.
I didn't follow any of those paths, and
Yeah.
specifically because I guess nobody asked the child what it wanted to do.
Yeah.
And also, how is somebody at 17, 18 supposed to know what they want to do for the rest of their life?
I
No,
still
now
don't
it
know
is.
what I want to do
Now-
with the
Yeah,
rest
you
of my
see?
life. Right?
Now it is very different because you've got all the
It's
possible.
starting, yeah.
But during our time,
No.
Now it's starting
is
to
it.
be
Okay.
sabbaticals.
Man, for
and,
South Asians more than anything else,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
or at least Asians, from that
Asians,
perspective, it's
Asians.
very aggressive, right? Just like, oh, engineering or medicine,
yeah,
choose
that's
your
a
path.
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
I'm just like, but I want to
CA
do art.
engineering, yeah.
No, that's for children.
Yeah.
That says grow up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right?
Oh, yes. I
'cause
mean,
for
even
me-
that grow up is like, why?
No, for
Yeah.
me, for
Why
me,
grow up?
for me, I always wanted to be an actor, and I pleaded with my dad, please let me go, train me up, because where I stay in Mumbai, there is Pune as well. They've got the best in India. You know
Yes,
that.
yes.
Just for 2 years, put me there, and I know because right from day one, I was, I loved the audience, I loved stages, I loved confronting a lot of individuals who kind of looked down upon me. So this was me. I wanted to prove a point to everyone. Dad said, no, chartered accountant. That's not a good line.
The
That's
exact
not-
opposite.
That's not a good field. And I said, look at me. I'm not a numbers man. I can't do numbers. And I failed miserably in that. Today what I'm doing, I'm into sales. Can you imagine the whole thing?
Yeah.
Huh?
But you still kept your boyhood love for acting and
I still love it. I
Yeah,
still
because
want to
sales
go.
is acting.
Yeah.
In
Yeah, sales is
any
all about
sense of the
acting.
word, you're selling
Yeah.
yourself as an
Yeah.
actor, or you're changing
Yeah.
your perception
Yeah, true.
of others, right?
Yeah, but the whole thing is, working like this, where say camera, take action, that's a different high.
Exactly,
And I
of
still
course.
love it. And I'm not able to do it now. Commitments and work, that takes a lot of my time. But now I've started rerouting it again.
Anna, you mentioned the words growing up, or men being told to grow up.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate on that for me a little bit in terms of your experience of coaching men and conversations you have with them?
Yeah, I think all of you can confirm that whenever you heard that, if you did hear that or something along the lines, it was you were being too childish and you had to take responsibility for something, or you had to, just take things more serious and not be so not committed to it or whatever. And they were teaching you really to be a man in their point of view, because that's what it meant for them. Not to be childish, not to
Yes.
show emotion, not to, to be very structured, to be very strict, to have your goal and just go for that. And that obviously that structural masculine energy part doesn't leave any room for the creative feminine part, because all of us have both energy
We're balanced.
Exactly.
both energies within us, and it is a dance of both. So no situation, like you said earlier on with being the boss or the boy, no situation requires the same. You can be out and doing sales in a masculine way or in a feminine way, or a mix of both. So it's just a dance of all of it, but it gets totally lost when you're being told don't cry.
But what
be a
about
man,
socio-cultural factors? I mean, what you're saying is absolutely right, because there's an agenda driven by, let's say, the parents, right? But if there is no agenda, it's just grow up, be serious, you got to take more responsibility. But to what end? There is no end. It's just, this is what we expect you to do. And this goes back to our point of vulnerability and all that. Like, children don't need to be vulnerable. Children need to be children. But
Yeah,
it's
correct.
when you grow up is when you're talking about vulnerable. But if you are in tune with your child, you don't care about vulnerability. You are who you are.
Yeah.
Because that is what vulnerability is. It's like, how does the boy inside of you, when we're talking about men, feel right now in this moment? So if you are in touch with it anyways,
Yeah.
then there is no, now I'm going to be vulnerable,
Yes.
No,
Yes.
yeah.
Well,
You
I
don't have
think
to
we
think
all
about
feel
it.
as if we've been fast-tracked into manhood.
Absolutely.
That's, I think, the primary thing that most guys understand from the moment they turn into maybe their teenage years, is that we've been fast-tracked, not just by our family and stuff like that, but education system, through the
absolutely.
society.
Yeah.
That we've been fast-tracked into manhood, because that's essentially the most important thing. Men, society needs strong men,
Yeah.
so that's the reason why.
We had
There's no
this. Sorry,
transition.
go on,
Yes.
go on.
There's no
transition.
transition. There is maybe 1 or 2 tribes in the world still left that does this transition from
Yes.
boyhood to manhood. They go into the forest for 16 days with the elders and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
But here, it's not in the Western world. It's not happening. Yet it can be seen as that's what teenage boys do when they turn to social media to kind of find their direction, to find that transition.
Oftentimes the wrong direction.
Absolutely,
sure.
Yeah.
definitely. That's the
I mean, Andrew Tate, right? I mean, You
Yeah.
can see
But you see,
mistake.
since we have experienced what we have gone through, the boy versus a man thing, so now I give liberty to my son, decide what you want.
Yeah.
You know,
You either do the same of what you've experienced,
Yeah.
or you do the exact
Do the
opposite.
opposite.
There's not much gray area. in
no,
the
it's
middle.
not there. So now it's exactly. You know,
Wilson,
the
what
opposite.
is your take-home message, just to wrap up this episode, for men addressing, as you were just describing, the boy inside the man? What's your take-home message?
For me, it's, there comes a time in life when the boy inside you dies,
Yes.
especially for men.
At least you'll feel it dying.
You feel it that, because responsibilities, and as you grow older, you kind of look what impression can I create on the outside. And whatever people tell you, you take that seriously. Not knowing that you yourself are strong mentally and you want to be a boy at some kind. So don't give up on your dreams. All right? 15,
Very well
20
said.
years back, somebody said something about you. You are still holding on to that. Let go. Come back. Bounce back. There is a time for everything. And this could be the time. You
Yes.
bounce back. You prove a point. You
It's
might
never too late.
Never
It's
too
never
late.
too
You
late.
might succeed, you might fail. But then the boys will say, at least I've tried and I'll keep
Yes.
on trying.
Yes.
Be a man, there are responsibilities, office, circumstances, contracts, business. That's a different scenario. But don't let the boy die inside you. Keep the flames burning.
Yes, absolutely.
Guys, thank you very much for joining me for this episode. Anna, thank you for being a guest here today.
Can I, before we go, add one more thing?
Yes.
Yeah?
Is just based on that and just keeping that boy alive inside. There's somebody who's a millionaire, and he says that tip just gave him all the power that he needed to continue, is that asking inside, because it's all about inside, that
Yes.
boy inside, even looking down and mentioning your name and saying, how are you? What do you need right now? And just
Oh.
keep doing that so many times during the day, every day, and just connect with that boy. And he knows the answers.
Yes.
Very
Given the space to speak.
Yeah.
I think that's powerful.
Right now, I want to act. As simple as that.
Yeah.
Yes.
You go
yes.
for it.
He says yes. So.
Wonderful. Thank you very much,
Thank
guys.
you.
And thank you
Thank
for
you.
watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. And we will see you on the next episode.
And your comments as well. Mention about your comments. Yeah.
All the boys out there.